right, our lesson today has to do with the concept of large decimal numbers. Now, this is not actually in your textbook. They sort of assume that you know it. I took this information from Maximizing Math. I would highly recommend that you take some notes. Now, a large decimal number is different from a decimal number because it is not truly a decimal number. It is a way of representing a large whole number. Often you would find large decimal numbers in headlines, in newspapers, and that sort of thing instead of as a regular math way of showing a number. So for example here, we have the City of Edmonton plans to spend more than 1.5 million to fix roads. So what that actually means is that the million is where that decimal is. So we would have 1 million, and the 5 is continuing. So the next part, of course, is the 100,000, so it would be 500,000. So as a number, it would be 1,500,000. And whenever you use a large decimal number, the decimal actually has to go into the space between the periods. So it could be here or it could be here. And that is then where the word goes. The word belongs to the first number in the period, in the number. So 1 million. 0.5, so 1.5 million, the point being here. Let's take a look at a couple more. All right, let's take a look at a second one. The walkathon raised 250,000. Now this one's a little bit different because it's not a large decimal number. 250,000, a million, a quarter of it. So we know a quarter of something is about 25, so we think of 100, right? A quarter of 100 is 25. Money helps when you're thinking of this kind of a number. 250,000. Well, 250,000 would have to be 250,000. So that's another way for a large number to be shown. All right. Wednesday's lottery draw estimated at 50 million. Now 50 million isn't that tricky, it's just plain 50 million. We would write that as 50 in the millions period, and then we would need the thousands period and the units period. Oops, one more zero, sorry about that. Remember, you can't have a period at the end with less than 3 zeros. Only this first period can have less than 3 digits in it. All right, the next one that we're looking at is China's population. And China's population, as you can see here, is 1.3 billion. So we have the 1 in the billions period. The point here, of course, being the 1 in the billions period. The 3 is in the first digit after the billions period, which puts it into the 100 millions period. We have to fill the millions period with zeros. And then we have to fill the thousands period with zeros, and then we have to fill the hundreds period with zeros. Now we wouldn't actually leave this decimal here. That's just to help us work. It would be 1,300,000 in standard form. Last one for us to look at. Sometimes you'll see that a number with a K after it. So crowd of over 56K attend Stampede's games. K is another way of saying 1,000, which you'll sometimes come across. K meaning 1,000. So this is the same as saying, oops. This is the same as saying 56,000. So the 56 is in the thousands period. All right, and now for this one, you're going to have an exit slip to work on because this isn't really in your textbook, but there are some questions that have it, so you will come across it. making sure that you do in fact remember that the decimal stands for the end of that period name. So 1.6 million means 1,600,000. Please hand in when you are finished, and make sure if you have any questions along the way that you ask. About today,